For decades, biology has operated under a powerful metaphor, the blueprint. We are taught that life is a program written in the language of DNA, that genes contain the instructions, neural wiring contains the rules, and development is simply the execution of a pre-existing program. In this mechanistic view, the environment is just an input, a button pressed on a biological machine. But if life is a program, where is the programmer? And why does the machinery refuse to stay static? There is a quiet revolution happening in theoretical biology, a shift from the physics of instructions to the physics of relations. Because when you look closely at how organisms actually behave, they don't look like computers executing code. They look like systems that are constantly rewriting the very language they are written in. Consider a simple signaling molecule. In classical biology, you might think this molecule carries a specific command, divide, move, or die. But it doesn't. The exact same molecule will trigger rapid cell division in one tissue and clean programmed cell death, apoptosis, in another. The signal itself carries no intrinsic instruction. Its meaning is not stored in its structure, it emerges entirely from its relation to the surrounding regulatory network. The same is true in neuroscience. A single neuron firing in your brain has no fixed semantic meaning on its own. It is not a pixel in a static image. Its meaning is dynamically created by the state of the entire population in which it is embedded. This is the core of relational biology. Pioneered by thinkers like Robert Rosen, Humberto Maturana, and Francisco Varela, this view suggests that a component of a living system cannot be specified independently of the network of relations in which it participates. An organism does not simply process information from the outside world. It participates in the continuous construction of the very state space in which information becomes meaningful. Classical computers separate two fundamental operations: measuring the world and updating an internal state according to a fixed rule. But life collapses this division into what we can call a self-fulfilling circle. To understand how this works, we can imagine a hierarchy of systems. At level 1, we have fixed rules acting on states. This is your smartphone, your PC, or a simple thermostat. The inputs change, but the rules are frozen. At level 2, the states begin to modify the rules. The system's past history shifts how it responds to future inputs. This is basic machine learning or adaptive behavior. But biology operates at level 3. Here, the network dynamically modifies the very relations through which both states and rules are defined. In a level 3 system, an update doesn't just change the memory, it rewrites the update rule itself. The state of the system determines how future observations are interpreted, which changes future states, which fundamentally alters future interpretations. The system doesn't just navigate a map, it grows the map as it walks. This brings us to a fascinating mathematical possibility. How does a relational system deal with contradictions or local inconsistencies? In a recent paper exploring this exact formal boundary, we can look at a mathematical parameter called Rho. In classical computation, contradictions are fatal. If a program encounters a logical inconsistency, it crashes. At this extreme, where Rho represents absolute rejection, the system shuts down or discards the anomaly to keep its rules static. But at the other extreme, where Rho represents assimilation, something beautiful happens. Instead of rejecting the contradiction, the system uses the local inconsistency to drive a global restructuring. It warps its own network of relations, creating a genuinely new internal state to accommodate the paradox. While the mathematics of the paper is abstract, its biological implication is profound. It gives us a formal framework for how local, messy inconsistencies can drive the emergence of entirely new global informational regimes. Ultimately, this changes our entire definition of what an organism is. We are not machines carrying around a hidden blueprint for every future behavior, nor are we systems of chaotic, unlimited spontaneity. Instead, stable biological organization is a continuous, recursive loop. a process in which the system both constrains and recreates the very context that gives meaning to its own existence. This self-referential loop, the ability to look at a contradiction, rewrite our own rules, and adapt, is not just a neat biological trick. It is the very definition of agency, adaptation, and the primitive spark of selfhood. We are not programmed, we are self-writing. If you want to keep exploring the deep geometries of life and complexity, hit subscribe and join us in the fractal layers. Until next time, stay curious.